Hey friends, it's your boy SVH coming at you with today's bowl of Saki by Hazrat and Inayat for September 19th, 2024. The teacher, however great, can never give his knowledge to the pupil. The pupil must create his own knowledge. Love this one. I love this. You know, a teacher or a guide is really there to be just that, to be a guide, to kind of help you along because they've walked portions of the path before you, and maybe can speak from that experience to really help you along your pathway so that you stay on course. And that really is what they're there for, and really it's to help you find within yourself the teacher within, right? And that's what this really says. The pupil must create his own knowledge. It doesn't say gather his own knowledge or gather knowledge from another or anything like that. It's create his own knowledge. So how do you create your own knowledge? You have to really be in tune, right? To be able to really tune into that part of yourself that is that higher knowledge that can come through, that you can create your own knowledge that you can utilize in this moment, in this little flesh suit that we're in, right? So that's a little bit of a couple thoughts that I had initially when I read this. But yeah, there's a good commentary here from Mershid. The work of the mystical teacher is not to teach, but to tune the pupil so that he may become the instrument of God. Alhamdulillah. For the mystical teacher, it is not the player of the instrument, he is the tuner. For the mystical teacher, it is not the player of the instrument, he is the tuner. When he has tuned it, he gives it into the hands of the player, whose instrument it is to play. The duty of the mystical teacher is his service as a tuner. Pardon me. The task of the Sufi teacher is not to force a belief on a murid, but to train him so that he may become illuminated enough to receive revelations himself. Truth by its very nature cannot be uttered, cannot be given. One cannot give that which cannot be put into speech. So the teacher gives a method for finding the truth, for unfolding it, for unlocking that which seemed to be in one's heart. Excuse me. It is clearly impossible for anyone to impart his knowledge to another person. He can only show him how to unfold his own knowledge to himself. Everybody possesses a kingdom, but he has to find it. There is only one teacher, and that teacher is God himself. No man can teach another man. All one can do for another is to give him one's own experience in order to help him to be successful. For instance, if a person happens to know a road, he can tell another man that is the road which leads to the place he wishes to find. The work of the spiritual teacher is like the work of Cupid. The work of Cupid is to bring two souls together. And so is the work of the spiritual teacher, to bring together the soul and God. But what is taught to the one who seeks after truth? Nothing is taught. He is only shown how he should learn from God. For no man can ever teach spirituality. It is God alone who teaches it. And how is it learned? When these ears which are open outwardly are closed to the outside world and focused upon the heart within. Then, instead of hearing all that comes from the outer life, one begins to hear the words within. Thus, if one were to define what meditation is, that also is an attitude, the right attitude towards God. The attitude should first be to seek God within, and after seeking God within, then to see God outside. Super deep, man. I love this one, and it just starts off so much in line with what really drew me to this path, and that's this musical correlation to life being harmony and all about harmony and either discord or this notion of being in tune, right? And the work of the mystical teacher is not to teach, but to tune the pupil so that he may become the instrument of God. So, this idea of being tuned, being an instrument, and being tuned, I think is such a beautiful analogy. And if you think of an instrument that you open a guitar case and you pull the instrument out and you're holding it in your hands, and this is the instrument through which this creative flow comes through, right? When you pick it up and you start playing, start jamming, things like that. Thinking of yourself as an instrument, that the great musician, the great conductor you know, that gave us our note, right? Our note within the symphony of the universe, that creator of that note, also is the tuner of the instrument. And if you allow yourself to be an instrument and be tuned by the master tuner, then you can be aligned with that divine tuning that really is higher knowledge, higher understanding, spiritual truth, divine truth. And yeah, that's really nothing that anybody can really teach you or give you or hand you. You can be led, you can be directed, you can be guided, you can be encouraged, inspired, and the last one is probably mostly the case, inspired. That's with me. I'm inspired by these teachings, and that's why I share them. And they've taught me a lot, and they've spoken to me in a way that has given me much more deep understanding of my own religious background, growing up as a Christian, and everything that I truly felt in my heart that I questioned all along in that path has come full circle in a finer attunement to the reality of all things and how all religions are tied together. And there's just little nomenclatures about different things that are different, but all in all, it's one truth, and it comes from one source, because there is one only, and that is God alone. And so, I love this, man. This is a great one. But to be that instrument, and to think of yourself as an instrument in the hand of the great tuner of instruments, or the great master builder of instruments, if you want to think of it that way. So, very powerful meditation, actually, if you do that and sit and think of yourself laying yourself down in this case as as an instrument, and as the case opens up and the master picks it up. What beautiful music might come through, right? If you allow yourself to be a finely tuned instrument for the beloved. So, just some thoughts I had on today's bowl of Saki, but this is a really good one. The teacher, however great, can never give his knowledge to the pupil. The pupil must create his own knowledge. There you have it, my friends. Hope you have a great evening, and I will catch you tomorrow with another bowl of Saki.